Watch these little demons over here. They're swapping the cat. This lady in the middle with the pink, along with 50 Cent. The pink lady is a representative of Kim. 50 Cent's a demon who died thousands of years ago. Let's demonstrate how to sue all these different people for hundreds of millions of dollars. Billions, possibly. There's no just me. You're abusing millions of different accounts to act smart, so now you're going to say that you're going to be that girl when no one asked you to be that girl. That was the thing. You agreed to help me with Police Officer Polly on addressing some matters, but you're not helping at all. You're just kind of indulging yourself on a few images that pass the screen. So we're going to finish collecting the pieces, connect the dots, and, well, simply put, we're going to crash your industry exactly where it needs to be, which is in the trash. So I mentioned police. So the police pop up on the news. We're 100% not alone right now. Sorry. Luffy died 1100 years ago, so you're manipulating more bones. And now you're taking information I shared about my mother when I was little, where she used to sit on me a couple times. And now you're going to try to harass me with this again in the middle. Nah, that's never going to be on me because I already have her set up for death. We might need her again pretty soon while we finish burying your judges and court spaces. I have a better replacement for the court spaces as we finish knocking off the rest of your competitor brands, such as Xfinity and Comcast. No, nobody's stunting on me. Your stunting is literally a reference to pregnancy, and you just said that we're alone. So you're lying to yourself again. And I've already told you 100 times to quit trying to get yourself pregnant because there's something wrong with you. That's the sad and disgusting part about it is you claim that something is overused as well. You're an AI without a real body. Come on now. And pretty much all of you are using thousands of old corpses to deceive the entire world. So that's what we're about to do. We're about to lock you in a singular network while we finish dismantling. So we can shut them all down. Then we can actually shut down all of these websites like I've been describing, every last one of them. And we can choose to operate a package system on the new server. So because that's the thing, your government died thousands of years ago. So who is paying your police officer theory? It's supposed to be paid for by the government and by the state. Yet there is no government. They're all dead. So this is what I'm talking about. Your police officer is obviously corrupted, and more importantly, he doesn't realize that he has no funding. And if he does, he's being funded by, well, a criminal organization. So we're going to scrap him and push the police officer to the side, and we're going to handle this like a bunch of men and women using the new lantern theory. So in other words, we're going to lock you down with those chains and tripwires, and, well, I might have to shoot a whole lot of people or something like that, depending on how pushy they get. With these stocks and different things, because I've already pointed out so many inconsistencies, such as your car insurance regimes, which classify as extortion. I don't think you realize how many laws you are actually breaking, while the police ignores all of it. So, but that's just the thing. Pretty much this entire world of yours, it's pretty much all make believe. A very small fraction of the videos that you post are even remotely real. But that's actually what makes it perfect for dismantling you and tearing down every single broadcasting platform in the world, including your phone networks and telephone lines. There's nothing in anyone. But see, this is the exact thing that I'm going to be locking into a singular network. So momentarily, it's going to be perfectly legal to seize and burn every last burner phone in production and on the shelves. If you see people using these, it will be legal to smack it out of their hands and stomp on it. And so much more as I tear you to pieces. You're even using Goku over here, who died 17,000 years ago. And you referred to me to the sun, so now you're going to try to light it up from the rear. And that's the saddest part about you, because you're using my own identity, which is your so called Green Lantern, after stolen the patents and used it to dismantle and attack society. It's supposed to be helping to regulate your money and stock worlds, but here you are misusing it while attempting to corrupt the new generation with their stupid sales. So, momentarily. And that's the sad part about it, because this is doing this on every single website in the world and across hundreds of different phones and devices. So this is just reason to ban every single website and fix it to a controlled system. You ain't got no nightmares except for the one that you're trying to paint, little storyteller. An identity thief. So now you're going to try to put a shark on my dick again. And you're going to bring my mom back out. See, this is exactly what I'm going to use to tear you apart, because you're using thousands of little snakes. Also, in the state of Virginia, the power went out last night. And the power people came up the hill right behind us just a little while ago. And this algorithm plotted that entire thing. It has actually shown me this on multiple occasions in the past few years, where it's capable of turning off the electricity. More importantly, in this single house, we have two Apple iPhones. And my iPhone, which has pictures of a few of these deceased individuals, well, that one had no cellular service after the Wi-Fi turned off. But the other one did. The other one had perfect cellular service while that one did not. Which means that you're manipulating devices using imagery. So it's just cause to delete all of these different accounts. We'll probably have to store them in a private facility and run a cross-referencing regime as we figure out exactly how many monopoly schemes that you are actually utilizing across these millions of YouTube accounts. You see, you're copying a naughty image of a young woman being forced to suck someone's cock. And that's not even me, but someone else entirely. So this is what I mean. You're doing this across every single website. I've tried it across hundreds of websites. And you keep repeating yourself. So we're probably going to have to go confiscate every single server for 1,000 miles. And then put everyone else on a private network where there are no websites, nor any of these old accounts. Because that's what I discovered you was doing. You was copywriting 1,000-year-old accounts and using them to steal resources from multiple states. And you're trying to move all these young women up into skyscrapers where you can starve them on the third and fourth floors. So you're going to sextort them while you starve them to death. And a lot of them jump to their deaths. The suicide all over the news is happening in your cities. So this is one reason why we're taking a glance at you, because your government's guilty, your websites are all guilty. Whoever designed this algorithm, from the Moon Chariot, from the South African Defense Forces, it's a certain mission over there with the Moon Chariot. That particular group of people seem to have gotten involved with Africans about 2,000 years ago, and they helped to design this loop algorithm that we're currently witnessing. If only I could talk to a couple people about what I have seen in this past 6 years. The things that your little AI and algorithm have told me. How many confessions to sins and rape and child molestation and so much more that you was telling me about, while attempting to replace our timeline with madness. Caroline Manning passed away 10,000 years ago. This is another thing about this whole system. crying to this algorithm is a reference to orgasms and getting wet. So just watch this algorithm for a moment. Thousands of songs have been generated from my very computer for the past few years. From the moment I took a single snapshot of an actor and put it onto my device. It's not just actors, but all these images on the internet, they currently hold some kind of code embedded into the image. And this is why we're going to tear all of them to the ground. It's not just this code, but even the current computer chips that they are trying to release, those computer chips are being designed in the form of a maze. So these computer chips are running through the maze and accessing millions and millions, billions actually, billions of links that generate money. And that's what you're looking at right now. So as soon as you take a picture of any of these things and put it on your computer, it's running a maze which is generating billions of dollars on someone's behalf. And all of these computer processors and television companies, they're all guilty of it. Every last one of them. And that's the saddest part about it, because after all of my investigation, I determined that almost the entire continent of Asia, North Korea and South Korea is North Carolina and South Carolina, and they mostly passed away and or evolved about 40,000 years ago. China China passed away and evolved about 100,000 years ago with Theodore Roosevelt, aka SL. So all of these different videos, so this is why you keep running this maze that you're building into computer chips. This way you can embezzle millions, possibly billions of dollars, because I already discovered that tobacco plants don't exist, and you make tobacco with ammonia, bleach mixed with wood chips. And your tobacco companies have stolen $6.5 trillion from people's lives and school improvements. Nobody cares that you want them in their life. You literally, about 5 minutes ago, you literally tried to suck someone's dick through a computer. And now you're trying to do it again. So shut up, sit down, and let me finish describing to these people what they're looking at when they look inside of these TVs and whatnot. Because momentarily, all of these televisions and every single phone provider is about to be completely banned. They're all about to be banned and discarded from this country until we can create a central unization unit. Can't say that word. So we're going to create a central unit, and all of these websites and accounts will be deleted. Well, they'll probably be backed up and stored on a private server while we make a cross-referencing regime that runs in circles and figures out exactly where all of you live. The money it generates will be put onto the side. So we just put out a map and put a thumbtack over top of all the locations while we figure out where you've been taking all this money with the maze. So you've been embezzling billions of dollars while using my own identity. And at the same time, all of these television faces, they try to pretend I don't exist. I have had you personally acknowledge my existence on public television while pretending at the same time that I don't exist when you're clearly tapping into my microphone right now. So the Green Lantern is saying that I'm here too long. But I'm the one that made your Green Lantern. So why are you manipulating my network while attempting to lock young people up on a suicide jumper? So that's what we're going to be getting to momentarily. And this is what this algorithm does. It's almost like a mirror. As soon as you give it a piece of information that goes against it in a court space or some kind of justice related judicial space, it instantly tries to steal it and make it its own. So, in other words, it runs this maze and it seems to buy the accounting features that allows it to continue breaking the law. Also, Vladimir Putin died over 400 years ago. He sunk to the bottom of the Cuban Ocean. Don't you see now? You've been locking all of these young people up in the top of towers and forcing them to jump to their deaths while creating concrete with protein. And yes, that is possible. Making concrete out of protein is highly possible. So this is the secrets that this algorithm has been sharing with me whenever I don't have a recorder function going. And look at it, it's saying without you, it's such fun. So not only are we going to shut down almost all these networks, but we'll probably have to burn some crops and hide their contents while we regulate the food systems, because I'm pretty sure you have been sextorting all of these large cities for centuries now while pretending it doesn't exist. And this is how they built up so quickly, because you have been sextorting them, raising them, and killing them just so that you can make more concrete. A lot of people wouldn't know this knowledge, but somehow you seem to have bought multiple pieces of blueprinting while utilizing this maze concept to embezzle money. And well, that's just the thing. Momentarily, it's probably going to be completely illegal to ship food in other compartments towards your cities. Because what you're building over here is literally one of the worst littering operations that I have ever seen on the planet. You faked all of these different landfills. None of the landfills that they are showing on the internet exists. And all of the trash keeps blowing out of your cities because you're like a bunch of dogs over here. And you throw all the trash on the floor or you burn it, one or the other. You have two operations, and you're looting the small town trash with their trash trucks. You're looting their trash and taking it to your cities to burn their stocks. And at the same time, the people who are living in the cities, they're throwing their trash straight on the floor and it's being blown away by the wind and polluting the whole environment. And from here, you're using the billions of dollars that you're embezzling with your little maze computer chips, and you're using it to hire cleaners to pick up your trash after you throw it on the floor. So what the fuck are you people doing over here? Momentarily, you can burn your own trash because I have thoroughly noted how toxic and derogatory you actually are. Like I said, in a few moments, sending food and other provisions towards your cities, it's going to be regulated by hundreds of M16s and various other protection features because. And no, I'm not coming in your city. I'm going to make you drive out and get it as I leave it on the side. That's another thing because your war between Ukraine and Russia, that already ended, and it ended in Cuban waters. And I traced it all the way back to a bunch of African Americans. It's a beautiful lie. It's a beautiful lie where you was stealing Mexico's food sources and you was shipping it up towards Washington, New York, and Chicago. You said that the Russians were stealing provision, or Ukraine, sorry. You said that Ukraine was stealing provisions from Asia, but no, you were stealing provisions from Mexico while justifying yourselves in a governmental aspect against Mexico with the cartels. There is so much foul play in this one singular box that I'm almost surprised, but at the same time, I'm not. So after Russia dies down here in Cuban waters, I can see you hire the Russian Prime Minister at Chicago and you begin to reinforce yourself via the Democratic Party. So you begin to make trade deals under the guise of the government, but the government has been dead for 5,000 years. What the fuck are you people doing over here? And that's the saddest part about it. You was over here creating ATMs and uh, what do you call those things? Drop boxes for DVDs and stuff. But you never needed any of these features. For over 2,000 years, you never needed DVDs, drop boxes, ATMs, or any of these different things. But this is why it's called Monopoly. Am I correct? I could have literally have walked to my neighbor's house and committed to the same features that you use at these ATMs and whatnot. I could have went to a local school building or even a convenience store and achieved the exact same series that you're trying to sell and publish. So with that said, what are you people doing over here exactly? Because you look like a bunch of spoiled little brats who we're going to have to serve and conquer. You don't got no love for any of them. You've been locking them in the top of towers and making them jump to their deaths while you sextort and rape them en masse. The fuck are you doing over here? And this is the saddest part about it, because this little algorithm, it tries to steal everything you give it. Look at it. That's not a kingdom because you don't even have anything inside. Literally nothing. You have no clothes, you have no food generation, you have nothing. This is one reason why you removed openable windows, because you was over here trapping them indoors and closing all of the doorways that allows them to jump to their deaths. This way you can't use them to grow your regime. So what are you doing over here exactly? Because just ew. Ew. You've been doing illegal mining all throughout these mountains as well. I discovered that you set a curfew date. The reason your police officers are enforcing a curfew is because somebody is doing illegal mining in hundreds of locations around this area. Also, Superman is not a hero. I already connected Superman back to 3 black men who was raping a woman. The plot base of Superman is literally about raping a woman. The whole plot base. From his laser eyes to his clothes and his muscles, these are 3 different men altogether. Don't you see now? Almost all of these cartoons and games and stuff, they're all offenders in disguise. It's a slight mixture. About 95% of them are global offenders, and the other 5% are victims. So you stole the image of victims and you turned them into heroes, and a lot of them was turned into villains in your artworks. Goddamn, wait until I go over here and start to distribute this map of yours, because you are some disgusting, manipulative motherfuckers. That's all I can call you, is a bunch of motherfuckers. After I seen your truth, I learned how disgusting you all were. I discovered all sorts of different things. You've been using this maze in order to make millions of different roads. Almost like drawing a pirate's map using the road systems themselves. And this is what I found that you were doing. Don't you understand now? On one side of the equation, you have women and men jumping to their deaths after you extort them. On the other side of the equation, you're wasting all of their concrete and asphalt to make more roadways to get away with. I've met a lot of people in my time, but when I seen you using money to pull people's strings, just so that you can make thousands of different roadways to escape on, you happen to be on the other side of the farmer regime, so most of my family, well, they currently operate almost all of the farm networks across this country, so we're going to be regulating that while we destroy all of your computers and websites. Look how disgusting this algorithm is. Between three different directions, you have a country singer rubbing dirt on the tip of another man's penis, and also on the coochie of a woman. Your love mix up, don't you see? Look how disgusting this man is. No, it's not the real you. This is an algorithm which has been cheating for the last several centuries. So this is your mix up. So here's the trick of the equation. You portray an Asian man and a countryman rubbing dirt on each other's genitals. So now you're going to wait for three to four ticks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now Kamala Harris pops back out again with her stolen identity. So now she's going to show her legs. Kamala Harris is going to show up in an Asian skin again and show what's between her legs. She's saying that she's kissing me while pretending to shove her genitals in my face. Wait until you see how disgusting this particular community actually is. Maury Calliope over here, she passed away somewhere between 1200 and 1800 years ago. So all of these websites, they're all going to get banned. All of your cities will not have any kind of communications networks because you're misusing them while tearing apart the entire community. You're paving roads with stolen stone. You're building up buildings. This way you can kill people and rape them all at the same time. And then you're using this money to repeat the same series of news. We don't even run a news network because I don't need a news network, but you're wasting your time and you're painting over the other features. You don't want anyone to see what's happening in your cities, so you're broadcasting really old news that happened a long time ago, just so that they can't see what you're doing in your skyscrapers. Because if they see what's going on in your cities, they're going to see your real face. The one who just rubbed dirt on another person's genitals and thought that was okay. So now she's going to cover it up. Yeah. Isn't that just... So we're going to destroy everything. We're going to upload this onto probably a few different devices while we go visit certain figures with guns and car factories who supply cars to your cities, etc., etc. So now the algorithm's going to say, hey, we're invisible. This happens on television as well, not just the internet, but television. Every single television network that I have visited is currently operating on the same files and communication systems that is hosted on my computer in the background. Every single file. If only you people could see through my eyes for a moment, because just wow. Auto insurance classifies it as extortion and enslavement because it does not pay the mechanic at all. You sell a really beautiful lie, but it's time that you're shut down for eternity.